What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deconstructing Topic Podcast. My name is David, and I'm your host of the Deconstructing Topic Podcast, because you already know we talking it all. We just yapping it all the way, and I appreciate people already listening and doing their thing and sharing and liking. We appreciate you like always. And we already know today we might have a little motivational thing as want to kind of like follow up on the last podcast that I did in regards to setback. Right now, I'm letting it all out, and then this July is going to be an important month. It's the first episode of this month. And for me, it's an important month because it's a month that I want to address a couple of things of my personal life. And for those people that know me on a personal level, even in this podcast, I kind of been mentioning this. Kind of open up to my people because you, my family, and it feels good when you tell these stories because you can say, or I can say that, though, you don't know who you're helping, but you know you're helping somebody. That's for sure. And I take it as one of the rules that Kobe Bryant said is, listen, just practice storytelling. Because sometimes telling a story could help not only yourself, but it can help someone and it can help many people. And over here, during my little lunch break at work, doing this little podcast, doing my little thing here in Union Square, in a beautiful Union Square Park. It's interesting because as I'm in the elevator at work, one of my brothers in arms is looking at me like, "Oh, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of gave me like, usually you have that tremendous energy, that tremendous kind of aura, but today he was like, for those kind of couple of seconds, he kind of like felt like, all right, the energy's not there level, and I tell him, like, listen, I'm dealing with so many stuff in my personal life, and it's trying to find this balance, both physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm trying to put all that together because to me, July is a very important time in my life because there's certain things that I need to address, or I will address, that's for sure, because we need to, and if we go to my podcast, the last one about setbacks, because a lot of times we're going to have setbacks in life. That's just a common thing for the common person or the average person. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you're average, whatever the case might be. It happens to anybody. It happens to the best of us. That life will get the best out of us. And then we're going to feel like, hey, we got a little setback going on. And my thing with setbacks is that we embrace it and we learn. And I'm following up on this podcast because this is the podcast where the question would be how we get back on track in terms of life, in terms of what we want to do. There's a lot of people out there. As I got my podcast is the avenue for me to express myself, my point of view. And you already know my views and my views only. Not affiliated to any organization, anybody, or anything. This is my views, and I share my views because for years, since I was a little kid, since I was a little baby, the good kids are little baby. Yeah, I'm not going to say little baby, but when I was like 9, 10, 11, people always said, David, you have an interesting perspective in life. And I'm pretty sure that as you get older, you're going to find ways or a platform to share it. And here I am in the podcast world in 2024. And how can we get back on track for those out there who have a mission, who have a goal, who has a dream? Something that makes you want to wake up every day to say, hey, I need to accomplish this. When we have those setbacks, like I mentioned on my previous podcast, we're gonna, some of those setbacks, it's part of life. It's part of what the universe is. But those setbacks sometimes is meant for us to see if we crack, if we give up. But as you listening to this podcast, you're listening to Deconstructing Topic Podcast. My name is David once again. Remember, feel free to like, or you should hit the like, comment, share, let the word know, let people know. Hey, listen, I came across this interesting podcast and I like it. I love it. That's basically it. But one of the reasons I did a podcast is because of you. And I'm me just telling you my journey because there's so much to talk about from the time that I was sleeping in the streets when I was a teenager to my car accident. There has been so many setbacks in life, from making bad decisions at work, losing my job at one point when I was young, not knowing what to do in life, something in me, and the belief that I can make things happen is the reason why, like I said, I make this podcast. I take time and my dedication to let it out. And I think I've made some couple of, how can I say, conversations with people who have said, man, I like your energy. Sometimes I said to people, for the most part, my podcast is just straight up raw, unedited. We can find a debate on whether that's a good thing or not. Hey, by all means, I could pause the podcast so I could catch a little bit of breath, just, catch my thoughts. But for some reason, I function properly when I'm on, running on just choo. And one of the things that I have dealt with all my life is these setbacks. And again, you just want to get back on track in life. And as you get older and wiser, it's a little bit different how you set back or how you get back on track of what you want to do, whether it's continue the podcast, whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to do so much, whether you want to be in the YouTube, whatever it is that you want to do to not only help yourself, but help this world. And one of the things that I say to you is always keep in mind, in order to get back on track in life, you have to continue to believe who you could be. If you don't believe in yourself and what you're doing, then there's a lot of things that you're probably going to feel like, And I've mentioned this about in regards to procrastination, when you basically just don't have the energy to do much, or sometimes you might have the energy, but you just sit there on your butt and say, oh man, I'm procrastinating. I'm just not in the mood to do this and to do that. Again, could be a sign of depression. And we don't want that. Because you don't know how long it's going to take, one, because everybody's different on trying to get back on track with life. Engine number 9 on the New York Transit line. If the train goes off the track, pick it up. Back to the scene. That's a classic from that song, Black Sheep. You could get with this, you could get with that. Basically, sometimes you got to see that in life. If you go off the rail in terms of track, then don't lose your composure, because we could get back on track. One of the beautiful things is that I always say, wherever the mind goes, the body follows. What can we do mentally to kind of fulfill something where you say, ooh, I don't want people to go out there and get caffeinated, get some caffeine and try to get hype, drinking Red Bulls and energy drink, whatever the case might be, 5-hour drinks, all that. I don't want people to be like, okay, let me just hit the bottle, let me have a drink, let me do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't want people to go crazy. Because sometimes those same things that we might see like that escape for us to get energy, those other things that probably could just suck our energy away, and you'll be like, what? As I'm looking and I'm outside, it's a summer day, beautiful day. Lots of green. The trees has sprung the green leaves. And a couple of months from now, when it's that autumn season, they will be changing color. Then after that, in the winter, they will be losing its little lust, the leaves. Then after that, it will start regrowing again, beautiful colors, spring. And in the summer, bam. You see, nature has a way to go back to life, to what it is. Get back on track, nature, because that is nature. That's the natural sense of nature. And you could do the same thing too. If you're out there, you might say, hey, listen, we are nature. We are you. There's going to be times that we're going to be changing through the seasons. And our mood's going to change, like whether it's in the summer, spring, autumn. Hey, I'm an autumn. I love autumn. I love the fall here in New York City. My birthday's in the fall. I love football. That's in the fall. I love that pumpkin harvest time, Halloween, whatever it is. The sense of pumpkin, I love it. And for me, the fall, it's what that reset button for me. It's in the next 12 months. So I go back again and again, but again, there's going to be seasons where you might feel like, oh, we in winter, it didn't feel like winter. So you kind of throw off, whoa, we're in spring, but they didn't feel like spring. We're in the summer, but they didn't feel like the summer. And so on and so forth. And those things that throw you off. And, you kind of want to compare, if you're in a section in this world that you have more than one season, the beautiful thing is the four. You got the 4 season, winter, spring, summer, is that the clothing changes. Everything changes. The way you wear, what you wear changes. The way you think changes. What you drink changes. How you sleep changes. Unless you're one of those people that love the air conditioned 24/7, hey, by all means. If you're one of those people that just love to have the window open all across the year, by all means. But obviously, having an open window in the winter is different than having an open window in the summer. So our mentality change and all that changes. So that's why I say, just think about yourself and think about who you are and think about you are just this natural being, part of this season all year round, and get back to that season that best represents you. For those people that like that gloomy, dark, we don't get that much snow here in New York City as much in the winter, boo-hoo. I had to talk to the snow people, the snow gods. Give me snow, give me blizzard. Think about that season that best represents you. There's a lot of people that love the spring. Ooh. See my beautiful people out there in the spring. And in the summer, forget about it. And think about those things, then think about those things that are going to help you get back and get on track with life. Because it's going to be difficult. After me and my setbacks, I have come and listened to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that I talk to. That's why I got a podcast. I'm a little chatty. If it's up to me, I'll be chatting with you. Strangers, people that I've known for years, family members, and all that. And sometimes, what's interesting, because I love to listen to people. I love to help people. But sometimes that's my downfall. They might say, whoa, chill. Because you hear different stories and sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, is that when you talk to people and those people, they're having a hard time, they're dealing with a lot of personal stuff and they just having a hard time trying to get back on track with life. You feel that feeling like, hey, listen, what can I do to help them? And unfortunately, we're just there to listen and talk to them. So that's my situation with that situation. So for those people out there that are looking in a way to get back on track, just think about what is your favorite season? What is that season or what is that time of the year that you tend to kind of, get the best out of you? And to me, I said to myself, you know what? July to me, it's like, okay, we already passed June. June, it's what considers the middle of the year. And July is that thing that considers, okay, at the next day of a blink of an eye, I would notice that, hey, my birthday's coming around the corner. Hey, Deconstructing Topic has the network party and all that good stuff for the summer. But again, we need to branch out. We need to think what we're going to do. Because the way I'm seeing it is that this autumn, this fall, which is my birthday, I want it to be my favorite. I want it to be the best. I want it to be awesome. And I want to end the year to become and feel like I could become who I could become. You know what I mean? So we got to make it happen. Let's go. Listen to this podcast. Share this podcast. Once again, ask yourself this question. How can we go and get ourselves on track with life? What is that thing that sets you back up that you say, don't feel discouraged? There's a lot of people out there that need the support, listen to this podcast. We need each other. We got to help each other because only we can. I have much love out there to my family. Listen to the Deconstructing Topic Podcast. We come into full control. We making it happen. Let's go. I'm out of here, my peoples. I'm out. Peace.